Cal, you touched on something that I talk about here all the time. I don't believe that Derek Jeter in any way will be the reason that the Yankees don't fulfill their potential this year or that they don't win. They have other issues. I really don't think that shortstop is one of them.
Well, it wouldn't be for me. You would take a deep breath. He's going to put him in the lineup, and you're going to live with a little. You're not going to have the young Derek and the 200 hits, although that's still conceivable in my mind. But you just have to lower your expectations a little bit and say it's still a huge value to have him there, and I'm not worrying about that position. I'm going to focus my attention somewhere else.
Cal, when we think back on the night you broke the streak, and it's one of those sports moments that anybody who watched remembers where they were when they watched it. Did you have a sense at the time how important that moment was to baseball? And, people overstate it now. Ripken saved baseball. But coming off what had happened in 94, are you able now, through the filter of time and everything else, to understand why that moment was so important beyond the breaking of a record that was supposed to be unbreakable?
Yeah, I think I have a much better perspective and sense of it now because you do have the benefit of time, and you can look back. You can look at it in a larger frame. When I was going through it, I sensed that it was pretty cool and pretty special for some reason. I couldn't really articulate all the reasons that it was because there was a buildup of interest, there was a buildup of momentum. And it really resonated with all people. I'm talking about the streak.
Yeah.
Is that people understand the value of showing up. They understand the commitment, the responsibility to yourself, and the responsibility to a greater cause. And in my case, it was a team, and they all related to that. So I knew that it rang true with people down deep inside. But as far as the baseball piece goes, I think coming off the cancellation of the World Series.
Yeah.
There was a longing to kind of say, okay, let's get back to when the game was a game. This is what I loved about baseball years ago, and certainly I think Lou Gehrig, because he broke the record in a time when you look back on it as a game, people started to get connected to the game in that way, and I think because of that, people started to look at it and they attached themselves to this celebration of the streak as a celebration of the entire game. And what they really liked about it, and I was the beneficiary of that sort of focus and that sort of attention, and it was very special in many ways, and I might not ever be able to articulate, how it was received by most everybody, but it certainly was fun to go through it, and it certainly makes you feel like you made, a little contribution to the betterment of the game.
Cal, can it be broken, and would you like to see it broken?
Well, it's interesting. I answer this question really quickly. Of course it can be broken. And the reason I say it can be because I did it. And, I didn't set out to do it. I wasn't focused on it. I wasn't obsessed with it. As somebody might say, I wanted to have the most hits in baseball. I wanted to have the most home runs in baseball. All the things that meant you were playing really well and doing well. But there was a sense of responsibility and an understanding of an everyday player and the presence that you would have on that team, and your team counted on you in many ways. So it can be broken, because I did it. It would take a unique set of circumstances, and it seems like the travel schedule, the game schedule, the day, nights, and all that kind of stuff work against someone playing every day. The value of investing a lot of money in players and saying, okay, we don't want to risk, missing you for a while. We're gonna rest you, which you see some of the managers, Joe Madden taking Longoria out earlier. I think that they see the value in trying to keep him fresh for the end of the season. There's a new philosophy in place right now, which would make it a little bit harder, but certainly, yes, it can be broken.
Cal, we got a little time left, and not only is Ripken baseball this cool thing. You operate 2 youth academies in Aberdeen, Maryland, and Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. 3 minor league teams: Aberdeen, Port Charlotte, Florida, and Augusta, Georgia. But to me, the shining thing is the Ripken Foundation, which operates programs for disadvantaged kids in 48 states and is building multi-purpose fields in the neediest parts of the country to give kids a safe place to play. I was a green grass kid. You were a green grass kid, and there are kids who just can't find a field. And just talk a little bit about that.
Sure. I mean, in the spirit of Dad, when we formed the foundation when Dad died, he died to lung cancer, and Billy and I basically said, what is Dad's legacy? And Dad's legacy was about developing kids. He did it in an organization of the Orioles. He also took his free time and went out to kids that didn't have fathers, sometimes didn't have mothers, and he would use baseball just to kind of get in front of them and create a relationship. And so in his spirit, we started very small, using baseball to kind of attract kids. And then we formed mentorships where we could actually be advisors to those kids. And Dad would be happy if it was just 10 people, 10 kids. But our program started to take flight, and all of a sudden now our Badges for Baseball program, which we match law enforcement with kids in a very cool way, it really works well in that whole relationship, and that program has taken off. And then we started building fields because with those programs you need safe places for the kids to play. So now we have 18 projects and fields that's starting around the country. We are in all those different states that you mentioned. And our program is just going gangbusters, and I couldn't be more proud because,
Oh, yeah.
you do get out there, and it does. I wish there was 3 or 4 of me where you can go to different places all the time. But right now, the foundation is keeping me busy because we're serving more kids, and I love doing that sort of thing.
Cal, this radical realignment, are you on board with that?
Well, Billy and I just examined it on the radio for a couple hours. Billy loves the radical realignment in many ways. I am a fan of the interleague play. I am a fan of more of a balanced schedule and more fairness, I guess, in the schedule and crossing over in the leagues. And I don't know how you accomplish that. And I am a fan of having an extra playoff team. I like the idea, and I am a fan of if you could work it out, the play-in wild card game. I love the sudden death atmosphere, and then how it handicaps maybe the pitching staff just a little bit, because there's got to be a little bit of a disadvantage, for you being the wild card, and a little bit of an advantage for earning, winning the division, having a better record. So I don't know how to put all those things in play, but I do like the idea that they're thinking about it.
Cal Ripken, thank you so much. I hope we can check in with you across the summer because there's like a million other things I wanted to talk to you about today. And God, you've had such a wonderful life in baseball. Will it really be necessary for you to pass me on the bestseller list? I don't think so.
I don't think I could do it, but we're going to still we'll still aspire to get to your level.
Cal, thank you so much. I hope we can do this again real soon.
Yep, thanks. Anytime.
Okay. The great Cal Ripken, straight to La Greca for SportsCenter.